It was one of those evenings where the sky burned gold before surrendering to violet. The kind of evening that felt like a memory even before it ended. Her laughter, soft, hesitant, and a little broken, danced in the wind as I drove us down the coastal road. The sea glimmered to our left, restless and endless, just like the way I felt about her. I glanced at her, her face half hidden behind the breeze-tossed hair, eyes glimmering with that familiar, unspoken sadness. We were almost there, almost at the end of the drive, almost at the end of something that neither of us wanted to name. And that's when she turned, to me, her voice barely a whisper over the hum of the car. "I don't want this ride to end." That one sentence hit harder than anything she'd ever said, because I knew, deep down, she wasn't just talking about the road. Before we go further, if you're feeling this story already, don't forget to hit the like button, drop a comment with your thoughts, and subscribe to Whispers of Kindness for more stories that touch your soul. We met in the most ordinary way possible. Two strangers stuck in the same university library during a blackout. The power had gone out, and the only light came from our phone screens. I remember her asking, "Do you think they'll fix it soon?" I remember laughing, "Not before our grades die." That night turned into coffee, coffee turned into walks, walks turned into late-night drives where silence felt more comfortable than words. And before I knew it, she became that one person whose absence echoed louder than any noise in my life. But there was always something in her eyes. Something fragile, like she was trying to outrun a past that still had its hand on her shoulder. I didn't ask. Maybe I was afraid to know. Maybe I thought if I didn't name it, it couldn't break what we had. Our thing, as she called it, was never officially defined. She never called me hers, and I never pushed her to. We just existed in that delicate space between almost and forever. And for a long time, that was enough. Until one evening, it wasn't. It was the last week before she was set to leave for another city. Some new job, some new chapter that didn't include me. She hadn't said the words, but her silence was starting to sound like goodbye. So I texted her, "One last drive?" She replied, "Pick me up at 7. That evening, I drove through familiar roads that had once echoed with our laughter, but now, every turn felt heavier. She sat in the passenger seat, quiet, tracing invisible patterns on the window glass. The sun dipped lower, the world around us blurring into orange and pink. We didn't speak much, we didn't have to. The music played softly, some song about staying even when you know you shouldn't. When I stopped the car at the old lookout point, she didn't get out. She just looked at the horizon, eyes glistening like the sea below. "It's beautiful," she said. "So are you," I whispered before I could stop myself. She smiled faintly, but her voice trembled. "Don't say things like that, you'll make this harder." "Then don't make it the end," I said. "Stay, we can make this work. I'll come visit or move, whatever it takes." Her silence answered me. The wind picked up, carrying the salt from the ocean and something else, something like inevitability. She finally spoke, her voice barely steady. "You don't understand. It's not about where I'm going, it's about what I can't leave behind." I looked at her, trying to read what she couldn't say. She looked down, tears glinting. "I lost someone before I met you. Someone I thought I'd spend forever with, and since then, I can't promise forever to anyone, not even you." I didn't know what to say. The air between us grew still, fragile. Then she placed her hand on mine and smiled through her tears. "But this ride, it's the happiest I've been in a long time." We sat there, the car idling, the sky now swallowed by stars. Time slowed, as if even it didn't want to move on. When I finally started the car again, she leaned her head against my shoulder. The silence was peaceful now, not heavy. The road home was long, winding, and beautiful. Every mile felt like it was pulling us closer and farther away at the same time. She started humming softly, some old tune from the first night we met. I didn't dare interrupt. And just when the city lights appeared on the horizon, she whispered, "I don't want this ride to end." My chest tightened. I knew she wasn't asking for more time on the road. She was asking for something impossible, to stay in that moment forever, suspended between what was and what couldn't be. So I slowed the car. The world outside blurred into streaks of gold and shadow. I wanted to freeze it too, to never reach that last turn where reality would catch up. But eventually the car stopped. Her apartment lights were glowing softly ahead. She looked at me, eyes glistening under the dashboard light. "Thank you," she said quietly. "For what?" "For making me feel like love didn't end with him." And then she leaned in and kissed me, slow, gentle, trembling. It wasn't a kiss that asked for more. It was a goodbye disguised as gratitude. She got out of the car, walked a few steps, then turned back and smiled that same soft, breaking smile. Take care of yourself, okay? And just like that, she was gone. Before we close this chapter, if this story touched your heart, please like, comment, and subscribe to Whispers of Kindness. Every story here is a whisper of something we all feel but rarely say. It's been 2 years since that night. I still take that same road sometimes, driving past the lookout point where we watch the sunset. I still hear her voice in the wind, still see her shadow in the rearview mirror when the world feels too heavy. And sometimes, when I'm almost home, I find myself slowing down at the exact spot where she whispered those words. I don't want this ride to end. That's when I realize she never really left. Because love, real love, doesn't end when the ride does. It lingers in the air, in the songs you play, in the way you learn to keep driving even when the seat beside you is empty. So I keep going. Not because she's gone, but because she taught me that some rides aren't meant to end. They just change roads.